Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for waiting patiently about this. I apologize for the delay here. Today is the daily race here on Speed Gaming number 4. It's open weekly. We have So as Mekon, Red Blue Dragon, and Runner Watcher. I'm Professor Render, and here's I'm joined with a newcomer here, Brett's Alapa, I think is how you're saying it. So, looks like we found a flute. We have we have partial Darkworld access, Titan's Midst Darkworld access to be more precise. We just got in Runner Watcher not too long ago. I don't know where that flute came in. I really apologize for the delay here because of certain technical difficulties. The flute was an escape. Okay, thank you. That was something on in the chat. So yeah, and we don't. So we did get a map check here. We have. Looks like there were the red pendants were in the light world. I didn't see where, and I missed the green pendants, or at least all the pendants there. Mitzrim, Moldorm, Glove in the Forest, Ice Raw, Moon Pearl and Ice Raw Cave. Yeah, I saw that one. Sword was in the back of Escape. Okay, and the lamp was in the blind side. Okay, thank you very much to the person in the chat. And so Ridley looking like doing the back of doing mini Moldorm Cave, while Runner Watcher going to the back, going to the bottom, the Hera basement, trying to get the big key there. Looks like there's also a red boomerang on the NPC. There's the Titan's Midst. Mekon, I think, was taking a death there so that they get a refill there. Spec-Rock on top is only a hard piece, and you can tell right away I'm kind of scrambling because of what's going on, but the technical difficulties. Alright, so there's the big key in the Hera basement. That's our only way to get in. We do have access to it. There's a shield on the Sunken treasure. The old man giving out 5 rupees. And Mikan heading to the back as well. Gonna get the big key there. And yeah, it looks like from our trackers we did see that Eastern and Desert was our 5-6s. And then Green Pendants was on Thieves Town, Swamp, and Skull Woods are the other pendants. And so it's possible, like that pendant layout isn't really terrible. I would say it's very accessible. Like you already have 2 pendants right away. That's like part of that pedestal puzzle. If all those people who like to hype out the pedestal wants to say. And okay, so Runner Watcher heading to the Moldorm, heading over to Moldorm, and this one. Alright, this will be a pretty fair fight. This will be a pretty vanilla fight here. Mikan mopping the bomb jump over to the big chest. There's 5 rupees there. And So's and Ridley Dragon are both heading to the back, heading to the Hero basement. And Runner Watcher takes down Moldorm, getting the other item, and that's First Blood at around 1320. I would have audio music, but I don't have that at the moment. Okay, whenever mic check to see if I'm not crazy and we're not getting actual audio from the game, or is that just me and I don't know what's going on with my end. So's on the Moldorm fight along with Ridley Dragon.
Are you guys hearing me okay? I was told I wasn't being heard.
You're perfect. You're clear and out of here. You are good to go. I can hear you just fine. Okay, so Ridley Dragon and So has gotten their first their first crystals, and Mekon opting to go over to Thieves Town, and Runner Watcher leaving Skull Woods. So on to get the Titan's bits from out of Mini Bouldarm Cave. C-shaped house only having 100 rupees. Runner Watcher onto Graveyard Ledge, and Ridley opting to go over to Desert Palace because he's got the mirror. Got the mirror the Titans met, so that makes tons of sense for him, and this will be another crystal for him.
Runner Watcher, they're picking up the Fire Rod, which is always sweet. I mean, obviously that is needed to finish Skull Woods.
Yeah, definitely. It's a nice spot to find it there. You can just heading back into Skull Woods as we speak. And So's getting that Moon Pearl. And a Master Sword on the digging game.
Wow, that's nice. I mean, getting that Master Sword there for Mike in there, that's always nice to get. Now, that'll make things a little bit easier.
Yeah, it's another sword. I mean, it's one of the requirements to kill Ganon anyways. At least a Master Sword and above. Runner Watcher into the Village of Outcasts, and So's opting to head over to Village of Outcasts directly afterwards. Ridley heading over to the Agina cave. And Mekon gonna take the blacksmith home, and this will give him another check, and also the purple chest is available to him.
Yep, and we'll see what the purple chest has here probably very shortly, as it is just 50 rupees there on that check there.
Okay, so So's heading over to the Skull Woods. Graveyard Ledge is if he goes over to Graveyard Ledge, he's able to run back and get Skull Woods cleared out. It's just fine. It's a pendant. I mean, actually, yeah, it's a pendant. So I don't. It could if I hadn't missed any items, there might be some in the back.
Saw's there picking up his big key there in Skull Woods.
And Ridley gonna get the Moon Pearl from off of the Ice Rod Cave. And Cave 45 only just 10 arrows. I'm assuming after Mekon finishes up with the might be just gonna be able to take the purple chest around to the High Cave area after he's done with this stumpy check.
Saw's there picking up the compass there in Skull Woods, and meanwhile Mekon picking up a bottle there from the stump there.
Yeah, that sick hit now available to Mekon and Runner Watcher into Thieves Town as well. I think most of the runners had decided to leave Thieves Town, opting to, and the reasoning being they have to, they don't have a hammer, so they can't really do the bait chest, and with that key in the front, there's that loopy possibility that an item might just be on that bait chest. And yes, Mekon is going to head over to Hive Cave to see what that is all about. NPC giving out blue mail. That's a nice little protection there, especially a little bit early on. 300 rupees, 20 rupees, a heart container, and then another set of 20 rupees. Only useful thing out of that was that blue mail. Very nice to find that really early on, considering we currently have up to a maximum of 6 hearts for our Mekon. The highest one so far is Ridley Dragon and So's with 7 hearts. And with the money too, Zora is available.
I wonder if we'll have any bets going on in chat over there as to who's going to finish with the most hearts. Anyone willing to bet? Get your bets in if you're so interested.
I don't know. It's nice to have them early on, like especially if you find blue mail, but it's not really a huge necessity. But okay, Mikon is gonna go and check out the purple chest. That is fair, considering that Mikon had already done the blacksmiths before heading over to Hype Cave, which is a decent enough decision. Runner Watcher is heading down to the cell, and the purple chest only having 20 rupees. So's into the mire shed, going over to that mire area, did not see what that medallion was. There's the boots in the mire shed alongside Bombos.
Boy, Pegasus shoes and Bombos right next to each other. Those are some really good finds there for Zaz. The boots will open up some more checks, like the ledge right above the sanctuary.
Yeah, that alone is the ledge behind the sanctuary. Oh, there's the cape over on the maiden cell. I don't know. I haven't counted Runner Watcher's items to know if we have another item left, or there's still the possibility of the big key that there's a key or dungeon item we can get out, and there's a key item in the big chest of Thieves Town. And so is finding out that that Desert Palace was boots locked, getting that key. So obviously heading over to the right side, it would make a whole bunch of sense. Blind fight for Runner Watcher as Mikon heading to the front of Escape.
Of course, whenever I play the vanilla game, when I face Blind, I always like to go in with full health so I can shoot him with my sword beams from the bottom of the screen. It makes the fight a piece of cake.
Yeah, of course, the runners know about the blind script, because the way that the blind fight works is that so as long as you're going through the entirety of the dungeon, the fight will remain the same each time you do Thieves Town fully. If you die, then you lose that script immediately, and you have to do the fights from as if you had gone for the refight and died a blind. People know how the blind script works. That way you don't have to deal with the bullet hell that is blind.
And I saw that Mikon picked up the flute there from the Hyrule Castle basement there, so that's a very big find for him.
Yeah, Ridley and So's had found it a little bit earlier on. That's why they had access to Desert Palace. That's why So's has access to Desert Palace, and they had also done a couple other things as well. Runner Watcher is going to go and get the item here. That's the Master Sword that was over on Mikon's side, and continuing through the front of Escape. Ridley looks like heading to the back and might be opting to just check a couple things around. So's heading to the back of Desert Palace, going to fight Lambolas.
Yep, that's true. Zaz is heading for the Landmola fight right now, and Landmola is a pretty simple fight, so I don't expect Zaz to have any trouble at all.
Yeah, I don't expect any problems with So's as well. Ridley going to be leaving through the same way that he came through into Thieves Town, or at least into the Thieves Town area, and is going to go over to the Village of Outcasts. Runner Watcher is going to get that item that was on the blacksmiths, just 50 pieces. But Mikon is going to activate the flute.
Zaz going into the Landmola fight with only a fighter sword, though, so this is going to take a little bit longer than people probably like, but he's still making the fight look very, very simple.
I mean, it's a vanilla fight, so it's for the most part like as if you're playing the game normally before you get Master Sword. But just spin whenever you have the chance to. Then spin the sword as soon as you have the chance to, and then they'll be able to kill Lambolas out just fine. That's another crystal for Sos. And Runner Watcher heading to K45 gonna find out that's absolutely nothing.
I saw earlier that the green pendant was the reward for finishing Thieves Town, so that's going to open up the Sahasrara check, or Sassy, as I like to call him. I learned that from Fishwaffle64, one of our sprite creators.
Yeah, I'm more so familiar. I'm just more so calling him Sahasrara because I checked multiple times that is the actual pronunciation of Sahasrara. Just wanted to make sure it's not like something ridiculous. But Mikan and is gonna get the boots and bombos, while Runner Watcher heading down to the swamp area. Of course, gonna head over to Hive Cave, get the blue mail, and a whole bunch of rupees for that as well. Zora will be available to Runner Watcher, and Mikan opting to look at Checkerboard Cave, only a piece of heart.
Yeah, Saw's there picking up a heart piece from the Checkerboard Cave up there, and Ridley Dragon, meanwhile, picking up the regular boomerang there in Thieves Town.
AKA what I consider now to be the most inferior boomerang because it doesn't enable any of the and so on nonsense.
Exactly. I mean, I always would prefer the magical boomerang, the red one. It's so much better.
Yeah. And Runner Watcher, okay, so Runner Watcher heading over to Hive Cave, gonna get the blue mail along with the bunch of rupees that Mikan had found out. Mikan in the Desert Palace, gonna get the big key off the torch.
So now Runner Watcher now picking up his 7th heart with the heart container from Hype Cave.
So now everyone's a piece. Everyone is at 7 apiece. Looks like actually, it's corrected. There's Soz and Ridley up to 8.
Mikan is up to 8 hearts as well.
Yeah, that is true. And that will. So looks like Runner is opting to go over to the eastern area, and I wouldn't be surprised because of the green pennant pickup that Runner Watcher had done a little bit earlier on, because he opted to stay in Thieves Town because of the green pennant, and didn't think to. I wasn't concerned about the possibility of having to orphan out the big chest of Thieves Town.
And Runner Watcher obviously is going to go and see what Sassy has.
So, yeah, first of all, the back of the closet is going to yield 20 rupees, another set of 20 rupees, and another set of 20 rupees. So, just 60 in total. But the important thing is a piece of heart from out of Sahasrara himself. That green pendant is useless. That is all. Runner Watcher heading over to Eastern Palace.
That heart piece did give Runner Watcher another heart container, though, so he's now up to 8 hearts now.
Okay, so now that Mikan's heading over to the Lambolas fight. Bit of crossover now between the two runners, but we are going to get some new information within Eastern Palace. This will be a crystal, so Runner Watcher will have to double dip this as soon as he gets the bow, or if he finds the bow right here, then that way he can just clear it out, no problem, because there are red Igors you have to use the bow on no matter what. You cannot use your sword on them.
Yep, and I'm sure that Runner Watcher is really, really hoping that the bow will be vanilla here.
Or at least French vanilla, because, of course it's possible, one of those possibilities. So, looks like, okay, so Soz had looked at Lumberjack Ledge, just a bottle, so pretty much Aga won't really be a problem unless we have to go to Pod and we don't find the flippers or the hammer nearby.
Yeah, with a bottle there in Lumberjack Cave, it's more likely than not that this will not be an Aga seed.
Yeah, it all depends on, because we found ether in Eastern Palace.
Saw's over there checking the cave on the ledge above Sanctuary that I mentioned earlier, and it is the bow! It's the bow that was there. How about that?
Yeah, that's the Boncrox, and the bow is very accessible, so that means that's our first bow, and we don't know. For all we know, Runner Watcher can find the silver arrowed bow just directly nearby in Eastern Palace. But it's great. That's great because that means there's a bow that is locked behind the flute, of which Soz and Mikon had picked up before, as well as the Ridley Dragon, but has not gone over to the Mire area, as far as I can tell. So Mikon getting the bow.
Yeah, so now Soz and Mikon will now both be able to complete the complete Eastern Palace at the very least, and maybe even Palace of Darkness as well, once they get the hammer.
Yeah, the hammer, or because that hammer will be great if they eventually find it. So Mikon heading over to King's Tomb, that is another fair play, and so is opting to stay within the Dark World, just a heart container within King's Tomb. And Runner is heading over to the big key chest. Ridley Watcher gonna get the blue mail from out of Hide Cave, along with a ton of rupees you can pay off Zora. And pretty much everyone will have enough rupees to get pretty much everything in the world they care to have.
Mikon now gonna check Sick Kid here now, and it's a heart piece.
Okay, so heart piece for Sick Kid and Runner Watcher heading to the base chest. Everything's in logic for him because of that lamp we found a lot earlier on, and there's just 10 arrows. So we're out of here until Runner Watcher finds that bow, or heads over to Mire Shed and get the flute out of the front of escape, and then head over to Mire Shed to get the bombs, the boots and bombos.
And Mikon now heading into Eastern Palace, and since he has the bow, he'll be able to full clear this dungeon now.
And Ridley is going to be heading over to the Mire area, and this will give him the path to give him the boots and the bombos. So that is going to be great news for Ridley, especially considering that a bow is in the Bonkrugs.
Yep, obviously at least one bow was boots locked, so obviously that was so crucial to find the boots.
Definitely, and Runner opted to do a fake flipper just to do a couple more flipper checks before having to get the flippers. Bombs on top of Lake Hylia Island, and is opting not to go over to the man underneath the bridge, and instead opting to go towards the Waterfall Ferry, and it'll also be able to pay off Zora 500 rupees.
And we'll see what if King Zora will be the scammer that he's been known to be.
Yeah, it's not really that. It's kind of that mostly common that he won't give you anything, and not much is given out from over on Runner Watcher's side. The Waterfall Ferry coming up, nothing, and so that means we're off to the long trek towards Zora, King Zora through Zora's domain, and gonna look at Zora Ledge here. There's a single arrow, looks like.
Yep, that's the validation arrow, as some people like to call it.
But not us, because we're not really allowed to say that. But
no. So let's see what King Zora has on him here, as Runner Watcher now is going to be checking him right now. It is just bombs. He got scammed.
Typical Zora. Not too surprising, really. I mean, it's kind of like it's more as having Zora having to give you something important is as common as finding it on the pedestal. Which, yeah.
Yeah, well, anyway, Mikon now with his big key in Eastern Palace, and now he should be on his way to face off with the Armos Knights here shortly. Mikon now up to 9 hearts as well, so he has a little bit more insurance there.
Definitely. So Mikon back of Eastern Palace for him, and Runner's gonna go, and he has a bottle from earlier on, so that means he will be able to get that item, which is that heart piece. So Mikon almost there to the Arbos Knights, and we're already pretty much running over each other's footsteps here. We're gonna get some more information. We'll get a crystal, and after this, Hmm. So, the only thing at this point for it to be an Agassiz is if we don't find the flippers or the hammer. And of course, if we cannot fake flipper we can't really fake flipper in the dark world because there's not a lot of spots. There's not even any spots to fake flipper into that would let you over to that pod area.
I'm kind of wondering if maybe the play here would maybe be to fake flipper to the guy under the bridge to see if he has the flippers or the hammer.
It can't because you logically need the flippers to get it, but at least you need the hammer. The hammer can be on there.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I just thought of that. Yeah, the hammer could be there. I mean, the flippers won't be there, but the hammer might be there. So maybe they might want to check there to see if the hammer is there.
Yeah, which means logically you would have to find the flippers somewhere. If, for all we know, the hammer could end up in these in Palace of Darkness, and the flippers could end up in pod, and then the hammer could end up within the hobo, which would logically means you're able to skip the entirety of Aga 1 because of that.
And meanwhile, we have Runner Watcher here now in the back of Skull Woods. He'll be coming up to who I feel is the toughest boss in the game, and that's Mothula. I think he's even tougher than Gani.
Yeah, I feel like it's the more annoying one because of the way the fight is set up in this version of the game. I'm not sure if this was fixed in version 1.1 or localized version of the game. Runner Watcher has to avoid having to hit Mothula into the spikes because the attack will get negated and it won't do any damage, but Runner Watcher clearing out the fight just as fine, but Mekon is headed over to the man underneath the bridge. So this will give us information if, for all we know, this could be like our access points and just a hard piece. So
I'm thinking maybe the play. Well, they don't have the hook shot yet, so they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna be able to get to the east side of Death Mountain yet until they have the hook shot.
Yeah, either that or the hammer, through the mirror spot.
Exactly. Yeah, that would be the other way to get to the east side of Death Mountain if they had the hammer. But those are the only ways. So we'll have to wait and see if they get one above the other. Maybe one of them something could be in Paradox Cave. I guess we'll wait and see.
Another possibility, as I'm looking at Mekon's side, we do have Ice Palace also ready to go. That's another possibility that we can also enter. It's not the best place to find your hammer or flippers, or you could at least find the hammer because the flippers can't be in Ice Palace. You need those flippers anyway to at least logically get in.
Exactly, yeah, because the flippers that will not be in Ice Palace. That would be completely out of logic, so they will not be there.
Yeah, and Runner Watcher is opting to go for a Kern jump. This is it's a very precise trick that involves you bomb jumping into a screen transition, so that way you can set up for a fake flipper. And we call it the Kern jump because of the runner Kern who had discovered it for himself. Mekon gonna get the 3 bombs off of Zora, so scam, of course, but
yep, I saw Big Kev in chat there had a Zora scam emote. I like that one.
Yeah, typical, but
I've never seen this particular trick here that Runner Watcher was trying there. Well, looks like he backed out of it. He saved and quit.
Yeah, it's a really tricky bomb jump to get into because you have to jump into the water at a specific time, and then have the bomb explode and have the knockback push you sucked in far enough so that you can trigger the screen transition. Trigger a screen transition as soon as you're falling into the water. so that way you can fake flipper, and that way he can get over to the pod area out of logic.
Ah, I see. Well, also I saw Ridley Dragon picking up the heart container from the King's Tomb there, and that's his 11th heart, so that starts the second row.
Okay, so I like what Mekon is trying to do here. He's going over to Meyer, and it works. It's a play you can do that's in logic. It really does. I mean, it's a decent, really okay-ish play. The only thing the only dungeon that you could really go into, not clear because you need Samaria, and end up end up a situation where if you find your item here, then you're good.
Yeah, I mean, he would definitely love to see a vanilla Cane of Samaria here. That would be awesome if he could find that here.
Yeah, but I don't really. Judging by the randomizer, I wouldn't be like too thrilled if a vanilla Cane was there. There was a scene that I was watching that was played that was gotten to the point where it looked like vanilla Cane, but it ended up being not it was just a piece of heart. I was looking all over, and then like it ends up I miscounted my items during and ended up being an ambrosia seed. So oops. Runner Watcher heading over to the front of escape. So he will get the flippers, the flute, and that will lead to the boots and bombos, so that he can at least get back into the running here.
Ridley Dragon, meanwhile, heading into Eastern Palace now, as he'll be able to fully clear that because he has the bow, obviously.
Yeah, and Runner Watcher is the only one who doesn't have it, and Runner Watcher is not pleased whatsoever because he was looking for that flute, and it was all within Spear 1.
Yeah, he's probably kicking himself right now for not coming in here earlier. I mean, he obviously now knows he could have had that a long time ago.
Yeah, and this is why you don't. If I have a sword, I immediately head over to the front of escape, no matter what. I don't like doing bomb escape. I'm fine with fire rod escape. I'm fine with cane escape, no matter what. I'm not as good as bomb escape than the other ones. So the key logic looked like in Meyer that key was going to end up in the big chest.
I saw there that Mekon picked up his first shield there in Misery Mire, so he has that now.
So was opting to do a different method of going to the Armos Knights. It's a different quick kill. I don't think he didn't get it, but I'm not too familiar with that particular one. I don't know if he's not familiar with the quick kill itself, but that is another crystal for So's. That would be 3 crystals to his name, and that means we have 4 more to go. We will need to find the ice rod. We'll need to find the cane. We will need to find logically the hook shot to it, which prevents you from having to do a hover seed. And that'll be a big pain if it turns out that you have to hover in order to finish your seed. But it's like it's like kind of out logic anyway.
It'll be interesting to see if anything is in Swamp Palace, because again, that's a pendant dungeon from the looks of it. So that dungeon may not be required. It all will depend on if there's something important in there.
Yeah, the only dungeon, the only chest that the runners can really do currently is the first chest after getting the Swamp Palace key that you need to get into Swamp Palace proper. That's the only one they can really do, and that's the bomb one.
Exactly. So other than that, they can't do anything because they don't have the flippers. You need the flippers to get anywhere in Swamp Palace.
Yeah, and Mekon looks like it turned up empty, so is opting to go over. Okay, so this is going to be an interesting bottleneck here. At this point, I would put my bets on if the hammer and the flippers would either hammer or flippers would have to be within the pod area, which means you have to kill Aga 1 regardless. This is one of the this is one of the bottlenecks, the big bottlenecks of having to find Titan's Mitts and Moon Pearl, like for your Darkhold access, is that you only have so much of Darkhold available to you. That's why I consider it a partial Darkhold access and not the full package.
So, so you're saying there's a possibility that this could still be an Agaseed?
Yes, and this is mostly it comes down to that hammer and flippers. We have not seen them since, and we don't have any other method to get any more checks because we're actually running out of spots that we can possibly check.
Anyway, Ridley Dragon now has completed the Eastern Palace, so he has his crystal from there.
Yes, and pretty much the question now is that we already know from the get-go we know that Aga 1 has to have the hammer or the flippers that's locked behind it. Now the big question here is that when are the runners going to head over to their after they're done with these remaining checks? I would say.
Look, I'm kind of thinking maybe that they're probably going to be checking everything they can possibly check right now before they go to Aga 1. That would probably be my guess. They're going to check everything they can possibly check, and they're going to exhaust all options and save Aga 1 as a last resort. That would be my guess.
Ridley Dragon heading back into Thieves Town, so that means he's opting to go for the bag. He's thinking that he might find the hammer here, which we know it's not there. I feel that Ridley Dragon or Mikan may have a better may be heading over to Aga 1 after they're done with their respective checks, because Runner Watcher just got his seat started because of the flute.
I see there that Mikan up there now has 11 hearts, so he has gotten into the second row now, so he's now even with Ridley Dragon in that regard.
Yes, and the spike cave, the bumper cave only having 20 rupees, so obviously not going to need a cape for anything. All it is just a safety and nothing more.
Yes, so it's going to be interesting to see which of our runners here is going to be the first one to actually head to Aga 1. That'll be an interesting thing to see.
I personally would say Mikan, because he now has got the fire rod. Now Mikan could also current jump to bypass Aga 1 entirely, even though we logically require Aga 1.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, if one of our runners can do that trick that you're talking about successfully, they may not have to do Aga 1. That is a very good point.
Yeah, and immediately, as soon as Mikan got the fire rod, he's heading back into Skull Woods, which is the right call, because that means, he was going to get a pendant, but it's a dungeon he can at least check, because I believe there was an item in the back.
As far as I remember, the runners that have done Skullwoods have not checked the chest that's in the back of the dungeon at the bottom of the stairs there. As far as I know, I don't think anyone's checked that.
Yeah, that's one other thing. So as I'm looking at it right now, the Pyramid Fairy has been open for us for quite a while. Someone in chat did point out that it's possible that a hammer could be in Pyramid Fairy, and even then, you would have to. The way you would go about getting that hammer is that you would have to mirror to the light world, cross over to the castle portal, and then drop the bomb that way. So from there, you're able to get the hammer from that, because obviously we can't cross over the bridge, the hammer bridge, the peg bridge, because we are still missing that hammer.
Yeah, but as Orange Kupo in chat points out, that would require AGA 1 to be done, though. So there's that.
Yes, that's what the process and that's what my thought process is. So So's is off script, but it's going to so you'll be able to clear the fight out just fine. Ridley dragging in the Thieves Town boss down, the blind down, and also get the green pendant, and so is So's. At the same time, Mikan getting the 20 rupees, and that is going to be another pendant for Mikan.
And Runner Watcher now picking up his bow, so now he'll be able to hit over and fully clear Eastern Palace. And Kevin and Chad, hello. I hope you're having a good day. Glad you could join us.
And again, Runner Watcher kicking himself there because he could have had that bow a lot later than it was for him. That because like we mentioned previously, that flute was in Sphere 1 this entire time, and you could have got that flute way earlier on, and it really hurts to see him having to get Acer Palace done just this quickly into the seed.
I am doing fine, Kevin. Thank you so much for asking, and again, glad you could be here.
Okay, so Runner Watcher is heading over to the Mire area, and I believe his thinking is that he wants to go to Mire just to see where it is. We obviously know that we cleared out the front, so it can't be the cane in the front, and it can't be in the back because we need the cane to at least get to Vitreous anyway. So it'll have to be somewhere else in the light or dark world. Mikan heading back into Thieves Town as well. So that will be green penance for him.
Yeah, there's obviously the Cane of Samaria is not going to be in Misery Mire. We know that now. So it'll obviously be somewhere else. If I had to take a guess, I would say that the Cane of Samaria would maybe be in like Paradox Cave or maybe the Ice Palace. Those would be my guesses.
Those are possibilities, but of course that is one of those possibilities. Yeah. That does check out. We will still, of course, we need the necessary items to get there to begin with. We'll need to find the hook shot or hammer, depending if you're going to find it in Paradox Cave, and then the flippers, logically, to get to just to get over to find it in Ice Palace. And So's heading to the back of Skull Woods.
Yeah, obviously the hammer and the flippers are the two really crucial items right now. Those are the key items here that our runners are looking for right now.
Exactly, and because at this point we are looking for our go mode items currently is hammer, cane, ice rod, flippers, logically hook shots, because while Swamp Palace is a pendant, we still logically need the hook shot in order to hook shot over Boulder 2 to the Boulder 2 chest, and then go to kill Aga once the time comes. And unless you know how to hover, that is hard required.
Yeah, there is still a distinct possibility that AGA 1 might be required here, but it will all depend on if they find one of those key items that you're talking about elsewhere first.
Yeah, I mean, at this point too, we've already deduced from the checks that we found that it is logically required. We just have to. There's just still the runners have yet to go and clear it out. Like, needs to go over to AGA 1, but I think Ridley Dragon might. He's gonna be heading over to Sahasrara, so that'll be a quick check, and that'll be a quick check because he's already done. He's already done Eastern Palace, and so is on over to the Mavula fight. Well, Mikan on the blind fight, gonna be on script here. So far, so good.
Yeah, I always would get nervous with all those fireballs flying around. That would be pretty nerve-wracking for me. That's why I really like staying at the bottom of the screen with full health when I play the vanilla game and just shoot him.
Yep. So Beacon still went off script a little bit, but it's still the clear. But okay, so now Ridley is heading to Aga 1. That is, at this point, you will have to go there no matter what. But it's the only thing that you can possibly do in order to progress the seed further. So that's it. Yeah, this is the right call for Ridley Dragon. This will put him, this will give him an advantage. But Mikan is also headed down there as well. Also going to do Sahasrara, and then presumably go over to Aga 1 and finish Aga 1 off.
Yeah, because doing Aga 1 will also allow you to check the fish there in the Zora area, the Dark World as well, and probably give you access to Pyramid Fairy as well.
Yeah, so that alone will be great for Ridley Dragon, because at this point you've already deduced that there can't, the other items, the hammer, and the flippers cannot be anywhere on the left side of the Dark World, and Mikan and Ridley and Runner Watcher are both heading over to Aga 1 right now, and so's opting to do Meyer, which again, it's not terrible. We already deduced that it's nothing, but so's will be checking it out for himself. So that's the thing. So Runner Watcher looks like he had better execution through the escape onto Aga 1's the Aga Tower. So he'll be the first one in there. And as we approach the 1 hour mark, I would be hard pressed to say that these runners are even with the sea being that painful, like having to find out that, oh, you have to kill Aga 1 regardless. They're still good runners, and I still think you should follow them. Definitely give them a follow. They're doing the best they can. And we have a pretty big pool here. It looks like I saw previously like around like 24, 25 runners, I would say, but or at least 23. I don't know, but they do a good job, and we can only show 4 of them. And we have on our tracker for tracking, we have Sapphire and SoCal 2044, who was on the previous, on the last open weekly we had a couple days ago. And they're tracking us, and I'm Professor Render, and I'm joined with Brett Salapa. I think that's how you say it.
Brett Salapa is how you say my name.
Brett Salapa. Okay, thank you. Okay, so Ridley is on to Aga 1. Aga 1 can fire from 0 to 15 blue balls, and we're gonna play a little unofficial game. If you want to guess how many blue balls, go ahead, and I'll explain the fights for those who are not familiar with Aga 1. Aga 1 has 5 attacks they can do per cycle. The first attack will always be a red ball, no questions asked. Attacks 2 through 3, or at least attacks 2 through 4, will either be a red ball or a blue ball. It's a 50-50 shot. And then the 5th attack will be a lightning attack, and then the cycle continues until you get 6 shots in. But so far, we have at least 3 shots in. 4 shots in. So Aga will go to the top of the screen, and if you have a shield, you want to hold on to the wall, so that way it saves some lag frames. This will spread up to 5 because it's the guaranteed shot. I don't know if we will have 0 here, but looks like we will have 1 blue ball currently.
Really Dragon hit some really good RNG here on this fight.
Okay, yeah. So now Aga 2, that's now 2 blue balls down. And that will be 2 blue balls for Ridley Dragon, and Runner Watcher and Mikan will get the same pattern, as long as they don't die. This will be seeded, and we are now back in the Dark World. We have killed Aga 1. Pyramid Ledge check coming up for him. 50 rupees.
Yep. So obviously, I would assume now that our runners, after taking out Aga 1, they'll be heading up to the Angry Fish up there in the upper right, I would think. But Ridley Dragon is opting. I thought he was headed south there, going somewhere else there for him. Well, now maybe he is. I'm a little surprised that he would head down instead of going up to check the Angry Fish.
Yeah, that would be the catfish, and we're gonna welcome in speed gaming number 2 with 68 people coming in from that. This is the ALTTP daily race. This is an open weekly seed. I am Professor Render, and Brett Salapa is with me as well. We have So's, Mekon, Ridley Dragon, and Rudder Watcher on our trackers on our screen today. And Ridley Dragon is currently heading over to the pod, while Mekon has already killed Aga 1, and Rudder Watcher also heading over to the pod. And
welcome into our Raiders. I hope you guys are all having a good day. And as you said, Professor, it does appear that Ridley and Runner are headed into the Palace of Darkness here to do some checks there.
This is the only way we can at least get the pod at this currently. So that means we could find the hammer here. We could find the cane. It's the only way we can continue through the seed by logic. Of course, the one thing that the current jump, as someone in chat pointed out, the current jump would actually lock the Pyramid Fairy because we hadn't killed Aga 1 that time. So if we find the hammer here in pod, then we could at least kill Aga 1. We could skip Aga 1 entirely and still get the purple or the bomb, the Pyramid Fairy, out of the way.
Mekon is getting his super bomb right now, and he's going to be checking Pyramid Fairy here in just a moment.
Which is fair. This is a play I would have imagined or Mekon doing either that or pod, because it is two checks for Mekon. Ridley has 5 that he can do. And I mean, of course, there's a possibility that Helmut's Arcane would have the last item, but there's a possible 5 in the front, and there has to be at least 4 keys in the front in order to get to the rest of the dungeon proper. In order to get to like your dark maze and the Terrapin room and all of the room underneath over to the Helmut's Arcane fight, and it's why we kind of call it. Some people would consider this a mullet mansion because, like a mullet, you have business in, as some people would say, business in front, party in the back. But I don't really call it that. But I bring it up for the sake of brevity.
Anyway, Mekon actually got his hook shot. The hook shot was on the Pyramid Fairy, so obviously he's probably going to now use that to go to Eastern Death Mountain and go check Paradox Cave, and maybe even Hookshot Cave.
This is great for Mekon. This is great because that now opens up this seed a little bit more for Mekon. We have Dark Death Mountain. We have Priority is Death Mountain. Ridley could still find the hammer or cane here. And that would mean Mekon would have to, of course, mirror out to the mirror from the Dark World, or take the castle portal from the Light World to get over the pod.
Anyway, Mekon now is in Paradox Cave right now, and the first unique item he finds there is a bottle with a fairy in it.
Yeah, and that's that is considered a bottle. But the top 5 chests, we did find red mail for Ridley Dragon, so that is great for him. Top 5 chests: 3 bombs, a heart container, the ice rods. So there's Trinex ready to go once we find Kane, and just 2 pieces of heart.
Yeah, but Mekon ends up getting 2 more heart containers out of that, so he's up to 13 hearts. So he's got some really good insurance now.
Yeah, especially with the blue mail, it's really great for him to find it that way. Yeah, that is good. That is good news for Mekon. And now is going over to is opting to go for Dark Death Mountain, going for Super Bunny Cave. So's on their way to the Aga 1 fight.
And so far, the red mail looks like the only real unique item that's in the Palace of Darkness right now. So Mekon looks like he could be in the driver's seat here potentially.
Yeah, it looks like so far that they pretty much swung Ridley Dragon and Runner Watchers playing the pod swung out. There's the silver arrows in Super Bunny Cave, along with 20 rupees. So this will be, if we find another sword, then this will be a pretty bog standard Ganon fight. Currently we're up to Master Sword with silvers, 28 spins to get through the first 3 phases, and then no matter how many spins we find, we'll do as many spins as we can to get to the final 4, to get the last 4 shots in for Ganon.
And we have 20 rupees up on the Sky Island up there, so now Mikan will probably... Yeah, Mikan's going to be going into Hookshot Cave now to see what's there.
Yeah, this is fair, because at this point you'll probably be ending up... You'll end your run by doing Spiral Cave. There's the Medora within the bonk chest. There's the hammer.
Oh boy, Mikan is definitely in the driver's seat right now. He just picked up the Book of Endora and the hammer here in Hookshot Cave, so this seat has really opened up for him.
Yes, and that is great news. So that means Swamp Palace is now ready to go. You have, except for if, well, no, I take that back. You still need the flippers anyway. So that means Ether Tablet check for Mikan, which is fair. You got the book really close by, so you might as well do it ahead. You have Spike Cave also ready to go. You have Helmasar ready to be cleared out. You have Bombo's tablet, and that's pretty much it. There's 5 rupees, the Aether tablet. We're able to read the pedestal to figure out if we have to at least get the pedestal out of the way. So's is opting to head over to the Catfish. This is another good spot that we have not checked, which is fair for So's. So as long as So's goes over to the Pyramid Fairy and gets the hook shot, then he can route that in. He can at least get himself a little bit closer over to Mikan. Mikan going through Spiral Cave. So's dropped the rock into the catfish ring, and there's the King of Samaria. We're good. So at this point in time, we're just looking for the flippers, and that is it.
Yep. As soon as Mikan finds the flippers, he's in go mode.
So, yeah, Mikan heading over the pod. This is fair. Ridley Dragon is going to get the hook shot out of the Pyramid Fairy. So, for all intents and purposes, Pet is dead because the flippers.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way the flippers are going to be on the pedestal because the flippers are needed for Swamp Palace, which is the last pendant. So definitely the flippers will not be on the pedestal.
Which then that means pedestal. That pretty much confirms the pedestal is dead. The only thing that could have been there at that before Mikan got the King of Samaria was the King of Samaria. So that pretty much means pedestal is dead. So we have at least an Aga seed because that we were bottlenecked into doing Pyramid Fairy and Pod, and Pyramid Fairy had the hook shot, and then everything else was on East Death Mountain or Dark Death Mountain.
Guys, people in chat are saying that Mikan is actually already in go mode, but logically you need the flipper still to get into Ice Palace.
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, so you could consider it go mode at this point in time.
Yeah, because like Windfox is saying there, you can actually fake flipper to Ice Palace, actually. So even though logically you need the flippers, Mikan actually is in go mode right now, technically.
Yeah, because for these runners, logic is more so a suggestion more than like a actual driving force to play through the scene, even though that's kind of my playstyle. But So's is going to get the super bomb and is going over to do the Pyramid Fairy. He'll get the hook shot. And it looks like So's was trying to do the dash strat, which I don't really think it should be a big deal because you have to get the hook shot from here over on the pyramid because that's from veering from the Dark World and back into the Dark World through the castle portal. The only way you can really get there. Runner is also going to get their hook shot.
Yeah, so the way it is right now, I think Mikon is definitely in the driver's seat right now. He's definitely got a little bit of a cushion here.
Yeah, at this point, it's Mikon's race to lose. He's got plenty of force behind him. He's got the hook shot, so even though the hook shots only thing I can really see the flippers being in at the moment would have to be Pod, Mire, or Turtle Rock.
Yeah, one of those dungeons probably has it. It's definitely not going to be in Swamp House because you need the flippers to get anywhere in there. So one of those 3 dungeons is probably going to be where they are.
Yes, and Runner Watcher is going to get the hook shots, and that will continue. So that way he will go over to East F Mountain and will get pretty much everything he needs to be in go mode. Well, I mean, not logical go mode, but go mode nonetheless. Mikon on the way over to the Helmasar King fight, so that means after Helmasar King is down, it's just a matter of Mire, Turtle Rock, and then Fake Flipper over to Ice Palace, and you'll be good to go. Because really, the thing about Ice Palace is that Ice Palace, how I see it, is a soft lock of like a soft flipper lock, not a hard flipper lock, because of the fact that you have fake flippers to at least get yourself over to Ice Palace.
And just 20 rupees on the Helmasaur King, so the flippers were not there.
So that means Misery Mire and then Turtle Rock is your only options remaining. For that flippers to be still in logic, and that would be good because it can't be because for obvious reasons it cannot be in GT through the Junkville. You have to the game expects you to have the flippers at the point in time as soon as you enter GT, so it cannot be in the Junkville.
Exactly. So it won't be in Games Tower. So it's going to be on either Misery Mire or Turtle Rock. My pick is Turtle Rock. I think that's where the flippers are. I'm calling Turtle Rock for that.
It's also possible for Mire to be there too, because it looks like, from what I'm guessing, I don't know. Again, I don't know if I counted my items at all, but it's possible that the flippers are going to be on Vitreous. So there's the hammer, the ice rod, and the Book of Adora for Sows, and eventually the Chaos Samaria, and then that should be it. I think. Okay, so he's going over to Ether Tablet, which is fair. That's still a fair decision. It's not the worst thing. Ridley opening up Turtle Rock just in case he needs to go there afterwards. Rudder Watch, they're gonna get the Silver Arrowed Bow.
I see Ike in chat there is asking if the Bombos tablet may have the flippers. That's one of the only other ones. The only other places it could be, I think, other than Turtle Rock, are Bombos tablet or Spike Cave. I think those are the only other places it could be.
Yeah, that's outside of a dungeon. And Ridley opted to get... So, Ridley is actually going to go to the Turtle Rock before Mikon, which I'm fine with. He's got the cane, so that's fair.
This is an interesting play here for Ridley. This is an interesting play. We'll see if it'll pay off.
Now, at this point, at the point of impact, he's already in go mode currently out of logic, but he is in go mode, so that means he could find it here and still be in a good spot. So it was just gonna get the Chaos Samaria from out of Spiral Cave. Spiral Cave, and then Runner Watcher is heading over to Ether Tablets while Mikon is onto the onto the Vitreous fight, and this will be a pretty much a blanket you miss it, or as I personally like to call it, a game of Space Invaders, because you just shoot these little small arrows, the small like silver arrows onto the small eyes, and then just 2 shots over to the big eye, and then you're good to go.
Yep, that's some poking for you right there. I mean, of course, fun fact, when I was a little kid, Vitreous was my favorite boss in this game because I just loved his look.
Yeah, it's a nice little design there, and they go down pretty easily with the silver arrows. Just 1 shot, 1 kill, or just like a game of Space Invaders.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good analogy. I kind of like that. There was a vanilla heart container there on Vitreous, so flippers were not there. So they got to be in Total Rock. They have to be there.
Yeah, but of course, it's also there's still the possibility of it being on Bombos, Tapwood, and Spy Cave. That's the most logical ones. Beacon is going to fake flipper to Ice Palace again, and we already know that this is not going to be there. But it's going to be anything Beacon will do just so that he can clear the scene out. Turtle Rock will have to be his last dungeon that he'll clear, and so I like what Beacon is going to be doing here. He's running low on arrows, so he will buy the arrow upgrade.
Yeah, he was running low on arrows. He only had 6 arrows left, so I think that was a very smart play on Beacon's part. I mean, that was a good idea to get a arrow refill. That was very smart.
Yeah, generally runners will go and get the arrow refill when they're running really low on hearts, because they are running low on bombs or arrows. Because when you pick up the upgrade, it will refill all the arrows inside it. So that was a good sight read from Mekon, understanding his inventory's current arrow and bomb count.
Yeah, I agree. That was definitely a smart play on his part.
Okay, so Beacon is now in Ice Palace. This is, of course, out of logic. So I'm curious if Beacon will bother with the Icebreaker, which is the more recent glitch that was unbanned by the Racing Council. And so we'll see what happens as soon as he hits the switch. Either he'll head back and do Icebreaker, or we'll do the bomb jump. Opting to do the bomb jump.
I see that Ridley Dragon is going into Mimic Cave. I completely forgot about Mimic Cave. Maybe the flippers are there.
Yeah, you could put this into with Turtle Rock as part of the check, so you can technically consider it 6 items. But the trackers usually consider Thieves Turtle Rock as 5 crystals. So it's not here. It's just a piece of heart.
Yeah, which is vanilla. That heart piece was vanilla there in Mimic Cave.
Yeah, I mean, if you technically mod vanilla, any vanilla locations with a piece of heart, you take for granted in the randomizer. Runner Watcher onto the Helmsar King fight. And Mekon has got the bomb jump.
Yeah, that bomb jump there by Mekon, that bomb jump can be pretty tricky because it's very tough sometimes to just get aligned properly to be able to make the jump.
Yeah, if you're going to be playing the randomizer, especially in the more competitive sense, you want to learn this bomb jump. It's the most important bomb jump in the entire game. Well, there's a lot of other bomb jumps that you can. There are a couple other bomb jumps that are pretty good too, but Ice Palace bomb jump is the bomb jump to learn. It's very precise because you have to line yourself up just right, and then line yourself up with a sword, and just have 1 pixel between the shadow of the bomb and your sword, and then you'll be able to do the bomb jump.
And Mekon now looks like he is on his way to face off with Cold Stare here now momentarily.
Okay, Ridley Dragon off to fight Tridex. I think he had saved the key later on, a little bit later on down the road, so he's not going over to Laser Bridge. So that's fair. It's not if you have the access to do it, then by all means, definitely go for it. Mekon, he's going to use the Bombos, and now is up to fight Cold Stare. These Cold Stares can do quite a lot of damage if you're not careful. They, especially on like blue male and even especially green male, they hurt. They hurt. Runner Watcher in Spike Cave. 3 bombs from the cold stare. We knew that was the flippers were not going to be there anyway because of the simple logic knowledge. No, and 10 arrows in the Spike Cave.
Ridley Dragon facing off with a Trinex here. He only has the Master Sword here, so this could be a pretty tough fight for him. But he had a potion there, obviously, and he used it to get back to full health, so that it was really important that he had that potion on hand.
Yeah, it's a slow fight on Master Sword, and I'm hoping that one of the we'll find a sword eventually.
Yeah, because none of our runners have been able to get another sword upgrade beyond the Master Sword yet, so I'm kind of wondering, and maybe both last sword upgrades are in Gan's Tower, perhaps. I mean, maybe they're there. Ridley Dragon using the hammer there on Trinex and takes him out, and we'll see what Trinex drops. Nope, he just dropped a heart piece, so nothing of value there. So Ridley Dragon is through with Turtle Rock, and now he'll probably be heading to Misery Mire here shortly. Mekon now about to enter Turtle Rock here.
Runner Watcher into Ice Palace. So is heading over to the back of Pond. Mekon starts their Turtle Rock run. This will be their 7th and final crystal. To answer a question in chat, the Cadence of Mario was found in Spiral Cave. Okay, Runner Watch So's onto the Helm's Arcane flight. So's finishing up Helm's Arcane, while Redley starts Helm's Arcane. Mekon continuing their trek through Turtle Rock. So I'm thinking at this point, since Trinex didn't have anything, it's either Laser Bridge that the flippers could be there, or Bombo's tablet, and that's all. That's all that's possible. That could possibly there. It could be there. It cannot be on GT. It cannot be on Ice Palace. It cannot be on Swamp Palace. And that is it. Okay. Mekon on their way over to the dark maze with the platform. Just gotta get through the crystal roller room. Ridley onto Misery Mire, and Runner Watcher is going to doing a full clear of Ice Palace, and looking like Mekon is going to head over to the Laser Bridge because he's still looking for a key. There's a mushroom, so that's one of our possibilities for that. Oh, there it is. As I'm speaking about it, there's the flippers. So that brings everything back into logic. Mekon over to Trinex. So we're going to be starting that Trinex fight now. There's the first phase down. Ooh, Runner Watcher taking a death there. He's got a fairy in hand though. That'll bring it back to life. Mekon will be getting their 7th and final crystal. So I think it's about time we started this. We're not going to be running the bot because this is a community race, but there are 22 locations within Ganon's Tower that the big key that may potentially be the first couple of chests there from 1 to 22. Get your guesses in chat where you think that big key might be, Brett. What do you think that big key is going to be at? Okay, I guess I'll just guess right away. I'll guess right now. I'm gonna say, I'll just go with 11 because I'm not really too creative. But Mekon will be will have the tower. The tower is gonna be dropping down, and 21 chests and a torch separates Mekon from getting the big key and completing the seed. Let's do this. Guesses are now closed. Chest number 1 is going to be the powder. Number 2 is going to be 20 rupees. Number 3 is going to be 3 bombs. Number 4 will be in the Stealth Rose room with 5, 6, and 7. So's onto Ice Palace. Number 4, a small key. Number 5, another small key. Number 6 is going to be 10 arrows. Number 7 is going to be another small key. Opting to go full left, not gonna go Dark Magician. Number 8, the firebar room. That will contain 20 rupees. On to number 9, the fire snake room. Alright, number 9, the fire snake room is going to yield that big key. Number 9 is going to be the answer, and we see Windfox 470 guessing at number 9, and Mikon is going to stay a little bit just to find another sword, which it's at this point in time, the Bombo's tablet, the pedestal, Bombo's tablet pedestal, and GT will have the last one. There's the Quake Medallion. Of course, that is part of that junk field. There is that there's that tempered sword in GT, so we will be having a pretty bog standard GT fight. No half magic, but we have blue mail and 15 hearts. So this will be perfect for this particular fight. So Winter Forest, you're gonna get some internet points, not actual leaderboard points, because that's part of the league. That's part of the specific SG board, but still, or the league board, but still, you got league points. You got points. That's all that matters. And Mikon is going to be starting the gauntlet up pretty soon. So Mikon looks like he took a fall there, but he's gonna use the iframes that he gets from falling down to dash through the rest of the room as Mikon starts the gauntlet. Rudder Watcher finishing off Vitreous, while So's is going through Ice Palace. Ridley just entered not too long ago. To answer a question in chat about the other racers, we can only show 4, but we have. Let me go and check here. We have 23 entrants total. 4, we can only show 4 of them. And onto my favorite room in the entire game, Wizrobe 1 and Wizrobe 2. This room is probably my favorite room because it's just so satisfying to get through this room all in one fell swoop. Wizrobe 2 is by far my favorite room. I don't know how many times I practiced that one, and it's actually really trivial once you put it into practice. Just the way you set it up is very, very simple. It looks hard. It looks very simple, and it actually is kind of simple if you know how the conveyors work and where to put the cane. Onto Torches 2 has to be some Mikon. Onto Torches 2 does not despawn the sprites. If you go up the stairs while the door jingle is playing, you will despawn all the sprites on the screen. All in GT, and it includes Boulderm 2 and Aga 2 if you hover. And that is never good. Mikan almost there. Over to the Moldorm 2. He's gonna be using that. Doesn't have a lot of powder, so he's gonna be running with 3 hearts. Okay, he's gonna opt to get the powder. Okay, he's got it. Okay, that was a little scary, but Mikan did get it. On to Moldorm 2. This will be a pretty quick fight, just a slash and a spin, and you're good to go. Mikan has pretty much loaded. Does not need to worry about Moldorm 2. Okay, on to Aga 2. This will be the last. This will be second to last boss before the seed is officially over for Mikan. Starting things off with a double, and another double for Mikan. This is a pretty tough patterns for Mikan, and this will be a single because of that blue ball. So this will be 2-2-1-1 if he can hit this blue ball and this red ball, and that will be it. 2-2-1-1. A 4 cycle. Mikan is on to fight again. Alright. Souls drops down to the Ganon fight. Mikan drops into the Ganon fight. Souls is on Colter, while Ridley is moving away over to Tower of Hera. That's the only dungeon he has left to finish. Runner Watcher is at the halfway point of Thieves Tower, Turtle Rock. Sorry. Mikan got the good corner. He's spinning away right now. So's taking a cold stare. Mikan on phase 3. And Ganon is almost there. We have silver arrows just in case. Ridley is gonna get he's gonna be climbing up the mountain, going to mirror to in front of GT and finish off Tower of Hera. Phase 4. Silver is his true weakness. And that'll be torch switch for Mikan, and actually a good setup right there for Mikan, just blocking him as he was teleporting away. One more hit should do it. One more silver arrow shot, and that'll be it for Mikan. That is it. And get George GG's in chance for Mikan. And all he's got to do to finish out this seed is to cross a 1x3 bridge. He will be finishing the seed off once and for all, and that will be first place on the Restream official SRL time of 1:41:38, and that is good enough for second overall, with Scion T being in first place with a time of 1:40:50. Ridley on into GT right now. Runner Watcher is about to fight Triax. So's on their way over to Turtle Rock. So this was a kind of a wild seed to start off, especially for my co-op, Brett Salapa. Or I swear I'm gonna butcher that name all the time. But this was you were bottlenecked to do an AGA 1 for the. You were bottlenecked to AGA 1 to get the hook shot, which led to the boots, or not the boots, which led to the hammer. and Cane and Fire Rod being on Death Mountain, along with the Silver Arrow Bow, as well as that Ice Rod. Pretty much everything we cared for was just hanging out there on Death Mountain. And then to bring everything back in logic, you were expected to go into GT, or not GT. You're supposed to get into Turtle Rock to get the flippers from out of Laser Bridge to finish off Ice Palace, then climb your way back up the mountain in order to go to the GT. And then, not to mention too, the bow was hard lot, was double light behind the boots, behind the flutes, with the boots being in the what was it again? The buyer shed. I don't know why I'm not hearing this. I don't know why I'm not good at this. Runner Watcher was cutting it close there with Hammer Trinex. Just had a half a heart before finishing off, going up the GT. This was quite a weird really bottlenecky seed. Looks like we have Mekon in the interview booth, so we're gonna be driving him in here. Hello, Mekon, GG.
Hi, I actually didn't know I was on the restream, so I missed the ping. Hello.
Yeah, it was we had a bit of technical issues from the start, and we kind of got a little scatterbrained, but we got ourselves back together. So, what do you think about this really bottlenecky seed?
I was extremely surprised at my placing because I figured everyone who does more glitches than I do would take the big bomb around the north of Dark World. That's exactly what I was expecting everyone except me to do, but that was pretty close from first place.
Yeah, and I don't usually see Silent T being in first place, but like this has been for the entirety of the seed. It was like it was kind of surprising to me, and not really too surprising too. But I mean, I don't know what's surprising, but like this was very bottleneck. I said it like many times. For the first bottleneck was the boots and the bow, and then the biggest bottleneck was the tag of one.
Yeah. When I got the bow, like I don't know, it was probably like 25 minutes or so in. I got the bow, and I already had Crystal 5-6 done, and then I just had access to finish. I had what I needed to do Aghanim and Eastern Palace at that time, and I've been thinking about the Pyramid Fairy for quite a while. Like right as I found the bow, I was hoping that was not what it was. But I ended up doing fake flipper, hoping that maybe they just wanted us to get the flippers out of Pyramid Fairy or something, and then the hammer was just hanging out the waterfall. No, that didn't work out. Yeah, that was cool. I did everything. I was really trying to avoid going back to Thieves Town. That was a little unfortunate, but I mean, I guess everyone did.
Yeah, and it really, it didn't turn out to be anything, of course, but like, Rudder decided to go and do Thieves Town while he was in the area, not decide to like veer out.
Mm-hmm.
And we already had that information earlier on that Storehouse Roller didn't have anything of Wharf, and that really just adds on to like the more that we opened up more like got more information about where the items are, the more we realize that, yeah, this is very bottlenecky, and there's like too many bottlenecks to save. Like, if it's possible, like, to be the most annoying seed possible. And like, and I'm all the believer that Agastines are not as bad as everyone makes it out to be. That it's like
Oh, no.
Agastines.
See, the thing about Twitch chat, you out there, Twitch chat, listen to me. A lot of people in Twitch chat think that when people play long seeds or have to do things that are long, like Aghanim or the pedestal, that, oh my god, they take time, so they're just the worst things ever. I can't believe it. But no, it's actually pretty okay. Especially when you're kind of forced into it as early as you were. After Aghanim, I checked the ferry, and I can assume some people would straighten to pod, right? Because it has more items, but like I said, I was thinking about that pyramid ferry for so long, I just went straight there.
Yeah, which turned out to be the right call. Is that happened? That pretty much got what you needed to get the seed all moving along just fine. Most people went over to pod and that was like, we all said like, okay, that's fair because like you had a hook shot, you had pyramid fairy and then pod. And I was making the suggestion where it's like, while pod has 5 crystals and you had pod was clearly the most iron dense because of the 5 and over 2. But then like get the hook shot out of there, and that's like that was enough like force to say, okay, yeah, that's it. You're good to go. You're gonna be pretty much leading this.
Dude, everything was on East Death Mountain. What the heck?
That's exactly that was like the worst. And looks like Ridley picking up that boulder too. That was just 3 bombs, so yeah, not like it matters anyway.
Ridley opened up the pre-Moldorm 2 chest and got half magic. That would have been pretty cool. Well, I guess I didn't need it at that point because I kind of nabbed the tempered sword where I did. That was really fun.
Yeah, and that's a fair fair place to find it. So yeah, I hope it kind of works out. So if you have any final thoughts, go ahead and sign off.
Oh no, I'm good. Yeah, thanks for putting me on after the whatever mishap you had. That was very silly. Yeah, it was silly.
Mikon, thank you so much for joining us, and GG, you did great out there, man.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks. Have a good day.
You too, man. Take care.
Okay, so now Ridley Dragon is finished off Aga 2, and Runner Watcher on their way over to made it past Wizrose 1 and 2 onto Torches 1 and 2, and Soz is about to fight Trinex. Alright. Ridley Dragon onto the Ganon fights, while Soz is onto Trinex. It's opting to go for a different route and it's not going for the hookshot route, like the ice rod route first. They're going for hookshot, not hookshot, fire rod first, going to get rid of that ice dragon. This is going to be tricky, because I don't know, he's got a blue potion, so you're good to go. Typically the route is ice rod, the fire head first, then the ice head, and then you go and deal with the last one. So Ridley Dragon is going to be going through the Ganon fight. This will be Master Sword Silver's Ganon, and Runner Watcher will have it too. We'll have to do the same fight, and opting that is going. So he'll look at the chest at Moldorm 2 and not. Was hoping for a sword and no dice. So's on to phase 2 of Trinex, while Ridley is on phase 3 of Ganon. Ridley on to phase 4. Now it's just a matter of spinning the sword, just getting that silver arrow shot in. So's finishing up Shrinex, while Runner Watcher finishes off Aga 2. Almost there for Ridley Dragon to finish this scene off once and for all. He's got at least one more shot, I would say, or 2 more shots. Yeah, just 2 more shots, looks like. Oh, looked a little scary there. Didn't want to fall off because it would be terrible if that happened. Got a silverless shot in there. It's actually opting to go fully silver. Trying to go silverless, trying to keep it going. So, alright, this will be a clean shot for Ridley Dragon. That said, get your GGs in chat for Ridley Dragon. And this will be finishing second on the restream. We'll get official SRL time in pretty soon as he crosses the bridge. Second on the restream with an official SRL time of 1:54.11 and is good for 7th place overall. Just before Ridley Dragon had finished, we had Slowpoke 316 in 6th place with a time of 1:50.29, Plasma Kappa in 5th place with a time of 1:49.12. Obviously going to give us obviously commenting send help because that's his thing. Ellis in 24th place. Ellis in 4th place with a time of 1:47.40, and in my Rambler in 3rd place with a time of 1:42.40. And Runner Watcher starts their Ganon fight. Runner Watcher gonna be a little cautious here. It's on 2 hearts. He had used his barrier previously. Does not want to die here. It'll be pretty early on anyway, so I don't think it really should matter. But like, it's still a pain either way. But okay, Runner Watcher playing it safe on this flight. Does not want to take any hits from those fire bats. He's on red. He's on 2 hearts. Those fire bats on red build do 2 hearts of damage, just enough to kill him. Like, exactly enough to kill him. Runner Watcher opting to go for the. Okay, so he's on to phase 3. He's actually wasting magic here. Might want to use the lamp here just so that he can get some silver arrow, get the torch glitch in place. Even then, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Okay, phase 4 for Runner Watcher. Silver is his true weakness, and okay, he's opted to go for the lamp. Okay, that's the correct call. So's got the big key, and it will also be doing silverless Master Sword Silver's Ganon. The fire rod there just get enough shots to deal the killing blow for Runner Watcher. This will be his last shot, and that's it. Get your GGs in chat for Runner Watcher. Just plucking as many arrows into the bridge here as it descends. We'll be finishing 3rd, getting an official SRL time. 3rd place on the restream with an official SRL time of 1:57.01. And that's good for 10th place overall. Just before Runner Watcher finished, we had Phyllis in 9th place with a time of 1:56.20, and CJ at an 8th place with a time of 1:54.16. Hi, Runner Watcher. GG to you.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Going fine. Good job out there. GG, brother.
Oh, thanks. This was not my favorite seed. I don't know how I forgot about Pyramid Fairy for so long. But going to Aga after already failing current jump was just really silly, and then skipping Spiral Cave. I mean, at that point, I was tilted when I skipped Spiral Cave. I was just sort of like, oh, it's probably flippers. So I'll just do Ice Palace, and maybe the Samoria will be an Ice Palace. And I just wasn't thinking straight at that point.
Yeah, throughout this entire seed, it was very bottlenecky. And I don't blame you for feeling that way as well. And definitely the fact that Flutes was a Sphere 1 check that you could have done a lot earlier on. I could feel the I could feel your pain there, and then the bottleneck continued into Aga 1 being required. Yeah, that was just it was disgusting, to put it lightly.
Yeah, it's funny, there were a bunch of occasions on which I was thinking of going into Escape before I did. So yeah, I think the earlier you go to Escape in that seed, the better off you are, because then that gets you boots really early. But yeah, I think putting off Escape and forgetting about Pyramid Fairy and doing that weird Spiral Cave skip play that I did, those were like the three things that really put me behind. I think I ended up like 15 minutes behind whoever was in first, so it was around like 5 minutes each probably.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed commentating. I mean, I imagine it's the sort of seed that's a little more fun to commentate than to play because there's so many weird things going on.
Yeah, it was the first Link to the Past rando that I had ever commentated, and it was fun, man. I had a blast, and you did a great job out there too. Good playing.
Oh, thanks. I was just happy to stay alive at the end there. I had been, when you kind of lose heart after making a lot of bad plays, it's hard to kind of keep your execution on because you just, you're sort of like, oh, I can't wait to be over. But I was just glad that I didn't die again and at the end there.
Oh yeah, it's never fun to die to Ganny. There's no question about that. You are not kidding.
Yeah, and especially with Master Sword Silvers, and that takes quite an eternity. It's definitely not the most fun way to fight Ganon by a long shot.
I'm seeing on the restream that some people got Tempered Sword. Where was that?
It was in the rando room.
Oh, so they went on after getting Big Key to look for a sword?
Yes, that was...
Wow, that's I mean, I guess it was right there. It must have saved time. I guess at that point I was figuring maybe the swords were in Swamp or something like that.
Swamp, Pedestal, which was Vampire Skewers, which was Vampire Skewers at the time before the credits came up. Bombo's Tablets, and pretty much that's it.
Oh yeah, Bombo's was where I got... Yeah, pretty weird seed there.
Yeah, I've already said it the best I could. It was very bottlenecky. So I was finding a shovel in the mini Helmasaur room. Huh. Pretty interesting way of getting through that room. That So's did. Didn't bother bonking there.
Did most people go to TR before Ice Palace? Actually, probably if they found Samaria and Ice Rod right there on DM, then it probably wouldn't have hurt anyway. So, yeah.
As far as I can tell, no. People, I think it was they sequence broke up to they did sequence break Ice Palace because by logic, because of that turtle rock having the flippers, in the on Laser Bridge, you would have to go back to Ice Palace and climb back up the mountain to fight Ganon.
Yeah, that would have been a waste of time. It's funny, this seed actually, in a lot of ways, it wasn't such a bad seed. It was just not like a natural. The ways to save time were not very like natural. But yeah, Yeah, an early escape could have helped so much. Anyway, it's been good talking to you guys. I'm over it at this point after that seed, so I'm gonna hope to join you guys again at some later date.
Take it easy. Okay, So's is on to Aga 2. This should be a triple for So's. That's really a really good placement for that pattern. Just bucking around the room. If this was like League, the fantasy points would be dropping like flies. But this is not League, obviously. This is a daily race, so stop getting. So, yeah. Okay, so it's now So's is again in flight. I'm hoping he's familiar with how the fight works. Okay, so yeah, that's right. Spin to win. Could go into go up to the corner, but opted not to. But this is a clear spot for him. Back in the corner is also not going to go for it, but again, it's respectable if that's the case. Either way, go back into the corner. I like the little back and forth cycle here. Now into phase 2. Little safety, little hiding spot there to get away from those fire bats. Another 12 spins to finish this fight. There should be a clear spot if you go up there. Up there. The top there. So, So's not opting to go for this, to go hide in the little spot, which makes sense because it's guarded by a bunch of fire bats. So, up into almost the good corner, but not the good corner. Looks like Ridley Dragon was also here. GG.
Hi.
Hi, Ridley Dragon. Good playing out there. Good job. It was great to call the race. How would you think of the seed?
It sucked. It was
to put it
no fun or good.
Yeah, to put it lightly, it was very bottlenecky. It was a pretty dumb seed, and also, just to be honest, there was the 2 bottlenecks that was the most important. There was just that
Tower.
Everything was just Tower of Hera, but
I ran away.
Mega Tower, and then you had the bow, which was locked behind the flute.
Oh, that wasn't. Yeah. The bow was the bow was in a weird spot because I wasn't doing. I forgot you could get Super Bunny. That's the hut.
Yeah, and this was. It really just came down to just those 2 bottlenecks that decided it. And I don't blame you for feeling the way that it's like the pretty bad seeds.
Yeah, I've had worse seeds, honestly. I didn't get too badly bottlenecked. I mean, I finished. I don't usually finish 7th from these things. I usually finish 18th. Mikan finishing 15 minutes before me, I'm guessing, is because he did not venture himself into Thieves Town and Skullwoods twice each.
He did go into Thieves Town twice, but he opted, as soon as he got done with Aga, instead of going into Pod, he instead going over to Pyramid Fair. But also get your GGs in chat for So's finishing 4th on the restream. We'll get an official SRL time for him. And this will be 4th place on the restream with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 7 minutes, and 13 seconds, placing 13th overall. And just before So's had finished, we had Coke Slud, 12th place with a time of 2 hours, 38 seconds, and Hohen, I'm gonna butcher that name so hard, 11th place with a time of 1:59:38.
Who was on the restream?
So's, Mikan, yourself, and Rudder Watcher.
Okay, so I wound up 2nd on the restream. Yeah, No, Mikan's better than me. Mikan should finish 15 minutes ahead of me. I just took too long checking every single. My overall strategy at all times is density, and then I broke that logic when I decided not to do Agus Tower at all.
Hello, so's, GTDO.
GG, how's it going?
Going fine. So is GG to you as well? What'd you think of the seed, man? People have been saying it was not a really good seed.
Oh, as soon as I saw the map check at the beginning, I thought, all right, so the 2 reds are going to be important. I should have rolled with that. Should have done the Aga play earlier. I went into Skullwoods 3 times looking for something and found nothing. I had a bad time with this.
Well,
The seed bottlenecked you pretty hard from the beginning. Like first of all, you had the flute, which was in the front of escape, which bottlenecked, which led you to do to get over the mire area to get the boots, and then the bow. And then after that bottleneck is over, the biggest bottleneck was Aga, because it was locking away, because Hookshot was locking away pretty much everything else in the seed, and then the flippers ended up just happening to be in Turtle Rock to bring everything back into full swing.
Yeah.
Oh, when I was doing Turtle Rock, I was in my own version of Go mode because I was just gonna fake flipper Ice Palace the whole time. There was no.
I guess though the one thing, like, that's the first Master Sword Ganon I've ever done, so pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, that was nicely done. That was very impressive. It's never easy to do Master Sword Gani. That's usually very tough.
I have a funny thing where halfway through the last phase of Ganon, I started doing my Silverless strat without realizing it, and then I stopped. And went, wait a minute! I need to hit him earlier, so I can hit him with the bow.
Yeah, it's honestly Silverless. Master Sword Ganon.
So muscle memory for me.
Yeah, Master Sword Silver Ganon is actually not. It takes a while, yes, but at least it's not like takes forever like it is with Master Sword Silver. It's like 28 shots over 28 spins over 52 spins is. I'll take that any time of the day.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, it was just I spent a lot of time at the end as well looking for a sword. I was just like, I just want a tempered. Can I just have that, please? But nah, it wasn't happening.
Yeah, well, there was a tempered sword in the rando room in Ganon's Tower. The next room beyond where you've got the big key, there was a tempered sword there.
Yeah, I saw somebody mention that. Oh wow.
Yeah, but we're going to wrap things up here. But if you want to give if you two want to give your final thoughts, just sound off.
It was just a tough seed.
The way that the Pyramid Fairy wound up rounding in was ridiculous. I mean, you would have to walk from Takariko's warp to the Pyramid Fairy, and you had to. That's actually what you had to do because the hammer was locked behind the hook shot, which was in the Pyramid Fairy. So that was my big bottleneck. That's why it took so long.
Yeah, but GG's to you too, and that will at least do it for us here. I'm gonna get the schedule up because there's gonna be a lot more speed gaming action here, because coming up down the pipeline for speed gaming tonight. We currently have a Final Fantasy 1 randomizer spring tournament match on Speed Gaming 3 as we speak, as well as a Super Mario Bros. 3 points-based tournament for on Speed Gaming number 1, also going on as we speak. Coming up at 8:10 p.m., we have the last couple of matches of week 5 of the ALTTPR League before we move into week number 6, the co-pilot week. It'll be Yoshi's on Skis versus Super Salty Dungeoneers, Unite Monistic, and Dark Rid 12. I'll be on Speed Gaming number 2. We also have a randomizer, a Zelda 1 randomizer weekly race, but we will see if does not have a channel, but keep your eyes peeled on that. Moving ahead into tomorrow, we have what is this? We have a pretty late one going into like Speed Gaming on Speed Gaming 1 and Speed Gaming number 3. We have a Final Fantasy 1 randomizer tournament as well as tournament match, as well as a Mario 3 points-based tournament. Number 9, Mega Man number 9, like at 8 p.m. on Speed Gaming number 1. It'll be Mega Man 9 tournament, and then we have the first couple matches of the Link to the Past Randomizer League on Speed Gaming number 1 will be showing out Co-Pilot. And then we also have at 4 p.m. just after that, we have the Pac-Man World 2 2020 80% tournament. And then coming up down, some of these are not scheduled, but we will have a Mario 3 points-based tournament at Speed Game number 1, more ALTTP League. We have a weekly race coming up for SMC3, a normal version 11 showcase seed. And that will be it. If you want to follow all the runners that are on the restream, do !R and !C. !R will give you the information on Twitch. That will for all the runners. We have So's, Meekhan, Ridley Dragon, and Runner Watcher. And our trackers for the day were SoCal 2044, Sat and Sapphire. And if you want to give us a follow, Brett Salapa and myself, Professor Render, give us a follow too. And until then, though, may all your seeds be not bottlenecky like this seed was, and we'll take it easy.
Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Stay safe, wash your hands, do all that good stuff, and we'll see you around. Take care, everybody. See you soon.
Take it easy.
Wash your hands.